Swans, and welcome back to another vlog day. If you don't know me already, my name is Megan, and I have fun creating content here online to help you embrace your femininity as well as your identity in Christ. If that sounds like a cozy space to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to become a part of the Swan Doll family. It's been snowing here in Maryland, so outside is very freezing and cold, but every year I make this little piece of content of me running in the snow dressed in like Princesscore fashion. I really love this because I feel like it really inspires other women to embrace like their natural hair, just to feel more comfortable in wearing the things that make them feel the most feminine. And in the winter season, it can be a little bit discouraging because the weather, it's really cold. You kind of just want to stay indoors all the time, and you kind of just want to put on whatever you have that's going to make you feel very cozy when you're enduring temperatures like that. I feel like it just causes a lack of motivation. For me, it actually does sometimes, so don't get me wrong there, but I've been really challenging myself every winter season to find the warmth in it, if that makes sense. Wintertime is one of my favorite times to really experiment with different fashion trends and things like that. I'm also going to show you a little bit of a haul of my recent thrift store trip. For those of you who have been watching me for a while would know that I absolutely adore thrifting. I'm in thrift shops most of the time. I also want to thank you guys so much for just showing me so much support, not only here on my YouTube channel as a whole, but on my most recent video. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to go ahead and link it here. God put it on my heart recently to share with you guys my testimony of how he delivered me from some things that I just had no business being in, and how he opened my eyes to what they really were and how they were affecting my life. This all happened last year in 2024. It lasted for about several months, but even before then I was already like a little bit pretty much just being disobedient and away from God. That's a whole different story, but if you want just the beginning part of that testimony, I highly suggest going to check out that last video. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for being there with me and showing me support. I've received a lot of messages talking about how it really ministered to them and blessed them and inspired them to draw closer to Christ and open their eyes to a lot of things as well. I am just really grateful for that, and of course all the glory goes to God. So go ahead and check it out, because hopefully it can bless you and minister to you too. If you'd like to see more behind the scenes of the Swanye lifestyle, then you can find me at Megan Swanye on all social media. Unfortunately, TikTok I think is getting banned. Probably won't be able to find me there anymore, but I'm definitely always on Instagram. And then I also just gravitated towards the brand new app called Lemonade. I don't know if you heard of that. All of my info is listed in the description box, and then also on my YouTube channel page. Let us get into this cozy, productive winter day. Here's my outfit of the day. It's this lovely little casual dress that I actually picked up from Ross just for less, and I just paired it with these knee-high knit socks, which is super cozy for the indoors in winter season. While I certainly love my sweatpants and hoodies, heavy weighted pieces like this are one of my favorite ways to stay cozy. I wanted to show you this. It's called How You Can Be Led by the Spirit of God, and it's by Kenneth Hagin. It's something that I've really been diving into lately because for me, I absolutely just want to hear more from God. I feel like we kind of forget the importance of that a lot of times. There are a lot of believers who feel like, Jesus doesn't speak nowadays, but then there's also a lot of us who do know that he speaks, but we just have a really hard time understanding what's his voice, what isn't, and just really connecting with him on that level. I'm also just using this little decorative rose as my bookmark, which I thought was a pretty good idea. So if you didn't want to use the bookmark that you have or don't have any bookmarks, but you have some artificial flowers, definitely use that, because I really actually have been loving this idea. So the first item that I thrifted for my princess company is this. It's for little girls, but here's how the front looks. It's like this beautiful little chest. And typically what we do, whether you own a princess company or maybe you just perform and work for one. But in my company specifically, we do makeovers for little girls. We'll do princess themed sleepovers. The princesses don't sleep there, but we just come and visit the girls during their sleepover. We do a lot of public events, which are ticketed. A chest like this would be perfect for those larger groups and more public settings. This is like, I feel like an entire makeup storage case. Imagine Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty getting ready to do a makeover and she whips out something like this. That is so magical. The next thing I got for the princess company is this little tip box. It says well wishes on it, but I'm basically just going to DIY this. I'm going to just repaint the whole thing pink, add my own like saying right here in the front, but it opens up like this. And the front has this little opening. We usually try to do a free event for the community like once a month, maybe twice, depending on like what's going on that month. And we've never had like an official tip box or a tip jar. They've kind of just always handed it to us in our hands. We want to keep that as discreet as possible, and it also makes it much cuter and more fun for the parents when they're giving gratuity. In my previous video, I've talked about making a prayer board or a prayer journal. I really like the idea of a prayer journal a little bit more. I got really excited, so while I was thrifting, I decided to go to the binder section and I came across this beautiful gem. What were the odds of me finding something like this? Now, this isn't just an ordinary binder. It's actually made a little differently, which I love. It's made in more of a vintage kind of way. All of the page inserts are there and everything is intact. There's like so many pages in here. I don't even know if I'm going to use them all. And I feel like it is the perfect canvas for decorating my very own prayer journal. So now all I need is a bunch of ribbons, buttons and charms and different things to just decorate this entire thing, as well as all of the pages on the inside. I'm also helping out my mom with making a prayer binder for herself, so that's gonna be so much fun. So this is why I have two, one's for me, one's for my mom. Again, so many pages with every single one intact. I think what these are actually called, they're not binders, they're like scrapbooks. Instead of just buying a binder, definitely check out scrapbooks in particular, because I feel like it'll give you a lot more of a variety. This is just the base of what it's gonna look like. My DIY process for this is definitely going to be a video, so stay tuned for that. And the next thing I got specifically for the boutique is this beautiful vintage mirror. Look at how darling that is. I'm definitely not going to put it in the boutique right away because there are a few content pieces I want to make with it first. Here's a behind the scenes look of my recent Winter Princess content. I'm so happy with how this outfit came out. Of course, Regency era was especially the goal, but I chose this specific yellow color because it signified where my heart and spirit stand for the beginning of this year. I really want more of us women to feel more open about who we are and our identity concerning our faith, so I thought this would be a really fun way to kind of depict that story. I've been out here for like, I want to say like maybe 3 hours. Yeah, when you're making content and freezing temperatures like this, you have to come prepared, and you also have to have someone with you just for safety purposes when you're like in secluded areas like this. I was gonna do 3 different outfits, but it ended up just getting really cold. I want to start taking you guys on these content creation adventures with me a little bit more so you can kind of see how those look and how those go. I also just want to start taking you guys out here too to just walk with me and spend time with God. I usually go on little walks, especially lately. I've always been a nature girly. always, all throughout the year, not just in the springtime. One of the things that I love the most about the winter season specifically is how silent and beautiful nature becomes. Take a cup of like hot cocoa or tea, whatever it is that you drink, but just make sure it's really hot. You put it in a little tumbler, a little cup, and make sure you go in a place that doesn't have like traffic from vehicles around. Just really step away from life for a little bit. It's one of the things that's always inspired me about simple living and slow living, that they really are intentional with the way that they slow down in life, whether it's the way that they're cooking, the items they're using, what they're wearing, what those clothing pieces are made out of, but then also just like how they go about life. They make sure that they are very in tune with the natural things that God has put here around us, because it really is beautiful and it really is healing. Herbs and natural things are all things that God created, but He created them for us to enjoy in His name. Going on nature walks like this and just being in silence with what God has created and actually talking to Him and having conversation, it's just so healing. Christ is healing. It's just even more captivating. So if you don't take anything from this video, do take this. Maybe for your New Year's resolution, you might want to try just to see how you like it, including in more nature walks with God specifically. It really does kind of change your perspective on your day. It just really makes you appreciate the winter season more, rather than just appreciating it from inside the house and looking out the window, but actually getting out and getting in it really changes your perspective and your motivation during the winter season. I'm going to make my way back into the house. I'm gonna get cozy, and then we're gonna see what else happens from there. But this is just so lovely. I kind of almost don't want to go, but I've literally been out here for about 3 hours. I've made it back home to the Swan Cottage. I'd like to show you a little preview of my updated skincare routine with plant-based products that I've been holding dear to my heart for quite some time now. I'm going to end this winter's vlog here. Remember, you are loved, strong, and always royalty. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.